Hey guys, how you going? Hey guys, are you worried about 5G or EMFs? Well, I'd like to introduce you to the sponsor of this video. It's a business who supports the truth. It's EMF harmonized and they sell EMF protection technology. It's like Tesla technology. The technology filters out the harmful RF radio frequency waves and has been scientifically proven to do so. As we use our computers, phones and tablets, the EMFs damage our DNA. In other words, consider getting some EMF protection from the link below, as you'll protect yourself, you'll help the growth of my channel, and you'll help fellow truth supporting businesses. And just so you can see the products for yourself, this is the products. And it gives you, even the website will give you a lot of information. So if you'd like to check it out, the link will be down below. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate your support. Okay, guys, I worked out what happened yesterday with this, the last few minutes of my video. I actually had it on mute, the microphone, because I was recording a video, and when you have the microphone on at the same time, it echoes. So I had turned the microphone off. So when I read this yesterday, it came out with no sound. I apologise, guys. Oh, that'll teach me. Okay, in a mother's womb with two babies, one asked the other, "Do you believe in life after delivery?" The other replied, "Why, of course, there has to be something after delivery. Maybe we're here to prepare ourselves for what will be later." "Nonsense," said the first. "There's no life after delivery. What kind of life would that be?" The second said, "I don't know, but there will be more light than here. Maybe we'll walk with our legs and eat from our mouths. Maybe we'll have other senses that we can't understand now." The first replied, "That is absurd. Walking is impossible, and eating with our mouths? Ridiculous. The umbilical cord supplies nutrition and everything we need, but the umbilical cord is so short. Life after delivery is to be logically excluded." The second insisted, "Well, I think there's something, and maybe it's different than it is here. Maybe we won't need this physical cord anymore." The first replied, "Nonsense, and moreover, if there is life, then why has no one ever come back from there? Delivery is the end of life, and in the after delivery there's nothing but darkness and silence and oblivion. It takes us nowhere." "Well, I don't know," said the second, "but certainly we will meet Mother and she will take care of us." The first replied, "Mother? You actually believe in Mother? That's laughable. If Mother exists, then where is she now?" The second said, "She's all around us. We are surrounded by her. We are of her. It is in her that we live. Without her, this world would not and could not exist." Said the first, "Well, I don't see her, so it's only logical that she doesn't exist." To which the second replied, "Sometimes when you're in silence and you focus and listen, you can perceive her presence, and you can hear her loving voice calling down from above." This was one of the best explanations to the concept of God. So that's what I had not recorded yesterday. And if it's still Thursday in the US, happy Thanksgiving, guys. I'm jealous. I want a nice big turkey dinner with all the fixins. Oh, I'd love that. Okay, let's get into what I've saved for today. And it's early morning here. It's 10:24 a.m. By the time this gets uploaded, it'll probably be about 12, lunchtime. Okay, so Peace Train Australia says, "Who's running Australia?" Who is running Australia? Jane Holton. She is the key advisor to ScoMo, CEO of Bill and Melinda Gates-backed CEPI, former chairperson of Gates-backed WHO, Australian player of Gates-sponsored Event 201, simulated coronavirus pandemic in October 2019. This lady belongs in jail. That last part was just my opinion. This one from Newsmax. Pardon? Representative Gabbard called on President Trump to pardon WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange and whistleblower Edward Snowden. Now that would be interesting. Julian Assange, yep, by all means. Edward Snowden, as long as he's on our side, because for a while there he was flipping back and forth, and I don't think he knew where he was. I mean, which side he was on. Okay, unless he was just being a sleeper. From Monkey Works US at Mill Ops, green screen and breaking 911 at breaking 911. Biden, this year we're asking Americans to forego so many of the traditions that we've long made this holiday. That's made it so special. And this is a green screen. And I'm not even going to play it because he's just, I mean, he's telling everybody, you can see he's a green screen. There's an outline right round. It's a pretty clear outline too. But yeah, he's just telling people not to celebrate Thanksgiving. You know what? Up yours, Joe. And from Gunnar Lemon at Canto Lemon, he was replying to somebody. Fantastic, all those organisations, corporations, industries, companies, funding advertisement, encouraging people to wear masks and promoting the Great Reset NWO agenda should all be boycotted by the masses. So any organisation or corporation or industry or company funding advertisement, encouraging people to wear masks and the Great Reset should be boycotted. And this one from Peace Train Australia. Now this is not, I'm not having a go at anybody who's overweight or anything like that. But when your ministers of health and secretaries of health don't look very healthy, should you listen to them? Even someone like me. I'm not healthy and I really cannot tell anyone what to do because I am not healthy myself. So that's why I say take everything I say, especially when it comes to medical and stuff, just grain of salt, guys. Doesn't matter who it is, grain of salt. From Larry the Cable Guy, hang on, am I in my book? Yeah, I am in my bookmarks. Manghua Railway, China's longest coal transporting railway line, is expected to be put in operation in October. The 1,837 kilometre railway line will carry 200 million tonnes of coal annually from North China's Inner Mongolia to East China's Jiangxi. I hope I said that right. My cat's on the keyboard again. So the rest, okay. Apparently, in the UK, they're having problems because they're trying to go with a sustainable development. And China is, look, in the Paris Agreement, do you know that China has been given the green light to make as much pollution as they want while the rest of us in Western countries have to cut down? Do you realise what that is? It is more in sending manufacturing over to China. It is making China a globalist leader. And while everybody else's electricity gets cut off, China will be fine. So all this climate change rubbish, what it actually was a transfer of wealth from first world countries to third world to China, but to other third world countries. I think China was the main beneficiary of it all, under the guise of being a third world when they're not. So how do you feel about that when you have to cut down on everything, coal, greenhouse gases, electricity, moving around your country? But China, they're all right. They're allowed to do whatever they want. And they're in the UN. Okay, this from Liberty Times and Politics. Michigan filing Exhibit 105. Countries groups involved in the US election 2020 access manipulation: Belgrade, Serbia; Iran, address tied to the Netherlands server; China and Canada; HSBC Bank Canada; BMA Capital Management; DVS Corp, Chinese domain; Indivisible, formerly Acorn. And this is part of Sidney Powell's legal action she's taking. Sorry, for some reason it's taking me ages to find the words that I need right now. When I'm over the age of 21, I'm under no legal disability which would prevent me from giving this declaration. And this is a declaration of somebody else that's just been submitted by Sidney Powell. Number 2, I was an electronic intelligence analyst under 305th Military Intelligence with experience gathering SAM missile systems electronics intelligence. I have extensive experience as a white hat hacker used by some of the top election specialists in the world. The methodologies I have employed represent industry standard cyber operation toolkits for digital forensics and OSINT, which are commonly used to certify connections between servers, network nodes and other digital properties, and probe to network system vulnerabilities. Oh, I'm a US citizen and I reside at blank location in the United States of America. Number 4, whereas the Dominion and Edison research system exist in the Internet of Things, and whereas this makes the network connection between the Dominion, Edison research and related network nodes available for scanning. 5, and where Edison research primary job is to report the tabulation of the count of the ballot information as received from the tabulation software to provide to Decision HQ for election results. 6, and whereas Spiderfoot and RobeTex are industry standard digital forensic tools for evaluation, network security and infrastructure. These tools were used to conduct public security scans of the aforementioned Dominion and Edison Research Centre. Number 7, a public network scan of DominionVoting.com on 2020-11-08 revealed the following interrelationships and revealed 13 unencrypted passwords for Dominion employees and 75 hashed passwords available in Tor nodes. And can I make it any bigger? So they'd be the nodes: ID, user, domain, okay. Trying to find the same public scan also showed a direct connection to the group in Belgrade as highlighted below. Wow. That's Dominion voting. And Belgrade's over here. Wow. A cursory search on LinkedIn of Dominion voting on 11/19/2020 confirms numerous employees in Serbia. What? See, everything's going over. It doesn't matter what we do. Why is all our stuff being done overseas? An additional search of Edison Research showed that Edison Research has an Iranian server seen here. Inputting the Iranian IP into RobeTex confirms the direct connection into the Edison Research host from the perspective of the Iranian domain also. This means that it's not possible that the connection was a unidirectional reference. A deeper search of the ownership of Edison Research shows a connection to BMA Capital Management, where shareaffair.com and BMA Capital are both connected to edisonresearch.com via a VPS or virtual private server, as denoted by the VPS at the start of the internet name. Interesting. Okay, there's got to be more. Michigan Filing Exhibit 105. Dominion Voting is also DominionVotingSystems.com, of which there are also many more examples, including access of the network from China. The records of China accessing the server are reliable. Wow. And don't worry if you can't read this, I can't really see it either. BMA Capital Management is known as a company that provides Iran access to capital markets with direct links publicly discoverable on LinkedIn, found via Google. And I will put the link down below so that you can come and look at all this for yourself. And some of them I am going to make bigger. Muhammad Talha BMA Capital Management Limited, Iran, Pakistan. The same Robtex search confirms the Iranian address is tied to the server in the Netherlands, which correlates to known OSINT of Iranian use of the Netherlands as a remote server. See Advanced Persistent Threats APT-33 and APT-34. A search of the invisible.org network showed a subdomain which evidences the existence of scorecard software in use as part of the Indivisible, formerly Acorn political group for Obama. Each of the tabulation software companies have their own central reporting affiliate. Edison Research is the affiliate for domain. And 14beanfield.com out of Canada shows the connection via co-hosting related sites, including dvscorp.com. Extremely interesting. Keeps going. This Dominion partner domain DVS Corp also includes an auto discovery feature where new in-network devices automatically connect to the system. The following diagram shows some of the related dvscorp.com mappings which mimic the infrastructure for Dominion and are obvious typo derivation of the name. Typo derivations are commonly purchased to catch redirect traffic and sometimes are used as honeypots. The diagram shows that the infrastructure spans multiple different servers as a methodology. I'm trying to read it while it's tiny, guys. The above diagram shows how these domains also show the connection to Iran and other places, including the following Chinese domain, highlighted below, which is this one here. The auto discovery feature allows programmers to access any system while it's connected to the internet once it's part of the constellation of devices. See original Spiderfoot graph. Dominion Voting Systems Corporation in 2019 sold a number of their patents to China via the HSBC Bank in Canada. And I'm pretty sure one of our prime ministers worked for HSBC before becoming Prime Minister, and that was Malcolm Turnbull. HSBC Bank Canada as collateral agent. And it just shows assignee where they are. Okay, this one I'm going to have to, I can't read that. The patents that were given to China. This searchable database contains all recorded patent assignment information from August 1980 to present. When the USPTO receives relevant information for its assignment database, the USPTO puts the information in public record and does not verify the validity of the information. Recordation is a ministerial function. The USPTO neither makes a determination of the legality of the transaction nor the right of the submitting party to take action. Okay, more exhibits. Of particular interest is a section of the document showing aspects of the nature of the patents dealing with authentication. Okay, I'm going to have to. Dominion Voting Systems, assignee, as the signers are Dominion Voting Systems and the assignees are the HSBC Bank Canada. The correspondent, a date. Ballot level security features for optical scan voting machine capable of ballot image processing, secure ballot printing, and ballot layout authentication and verification. Inventors Eric Coomer, Larry Core, Brian Glenn Lehman. Smartmatic creates the backbone like the cloud. SCYTL is responsible for the security within the election system. And apparently we do use SCYTL here too. Okay. And there it is there. What are they showing here? Ectorp. I can't read it. Java AP for Couch DB. Grunt Freddy, start a Freddy server. Okay, this will explain it. In the GitHub account for SCYTL, SCYTL JSeats has some of the programming necessary to support a much broader set of election types, including a decorator process where the data is smoothed. See the following diagram provided in their source code. Following diagram. Let's open it in a bigger image. Candidate and votes, tally, set election processor, filter, parameters, seat allocation method, tally, filters, tiebreaker, result, decorators, go to the process, decorate, result, seat and candidates. Oh my goodness. Unrelated but also a point of interest is CTCL, or Centre for Tech and Civil Life, funded by Mark Zuckerberg. That explains a lot. That was good. What did I just do there? Okay, within the GitHub page, one of the programmers holds a government position. The Bitchute repo shows Tandereg as one of the developers, and he works at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Oh, wow. Okay, I see where I see. Do you know what this is going to do? All this election thing is going to not only expose election fraud and worldwide, I think, people involved, but this is also going to expose big tech. As seen in the included document titled AA20-30A- Iranian Advanced Persistent Threat Actor Identified Obtaining Voter Registration Data, that was authored by the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, with a product ID of AA20-304A on a specified date of October the 30th, 2020. CISA and the FBI reports that Iranian APT teams were seen using Accutenix, a website scanning software, to find vulnerabilities within election company websites, confirmed to be used by Iranian APT teams by seized cloud storage that I had personally captured and reported to higher authorities. These scanning behaviours show that foreign agents of aggressor nations had access to US voter lists and had done so recently. 21. In my professional opinion, this affidavit presents unambiguous evidence that Dominion voter systems and Edison research have been accessible and were certainly compromised by rogue actors such as Iran and China. By using servers and employees connected with rogue actors and hostile foreign influences, combined with numerous easily discoverable leaked credentials, these organisations neglectfully allow foreign adversaries to access data and intentionally provide access to their infrastructure in order to monitor and manipulate elections, including the most recent one in 2020. This represents a complete failure of their duty to provide basic cyber security. This is not a technological issue, but rather a governance and basic security issue. If it's not corrected, future elections in the United States and beyond will not be secure, and citizens will not have confidence in the results. I declare under penalty of perjury that the foregoing is true and correct to the best of my knowledge, executed this November the 23rd, 2020. There you go. That's saying a lot. This is going to be huge and involve a lot more people than what we think. And from there, that's what I mean by you've got to get through this, all the election rigging, then the corruption through the government, and then eventually we will get to what they've been doing to children. So all the easier to prove stuff's coming out first, or maybe easier to swallow for the normies. Okay, that's just replying. Okay, from 72 seconds, Julian Assange needs to be home for Christmas. Family is important. Retweet if you agree. Well, I do. Assange needs to be released and protected until these people are put away anyway. President-elect Darko 1960 says CIA used hammer and scorecard voting systems not just in the US this election, but also in third world countries and Commonwealth countries. Illegitimate globalist puppets installed in the UK, Canada, Australia and Germany. For sure. Now let's have a listen to this.
Scorecard against third world one. Not only did CIA use hammer and scorecard against third world countries such as Venezuela, Peru, Ecuador, it also used them against Commonwealth countries. And specifically, my understanding is the president has proof that CIA manipulated the elections in the United Kingdom, in Canada, in Australia, and in Germany. I think that's huge. The secondary one, not only did
wow. Well, make of that what you will. What else is in here? Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance is likely tied to all of this. How could it not be? Wow. It's just getting more and more interesting, guys. So the UK, Australia, Canada, third world countries. No wonder no one's getting anywhere. Third world countries could be really, really good if they didn't have corruption, because that seems to be the biggest problem, even in third world countries, is their corruption. Okay, from Martin Geddes, lockdowns mean that a lot of white-collar crime will have been plotted whilst remote working, rather than in corporate meeting rooms. We have it all means that is a big mistake. Biggest corruption purge in history coming. Don't worry, guys, they have it all. And not just from America, everywhere. A nurse in Manchester, at Colonel Cutshaw. Sorry, guys, I have been forgetting to read these other names here that you can get to. I'm an intensive care nurse. We are pretty much immune now. Less people are ill or dying. Hospitals are quiet. You can't get it again if you have the antibodies. You don't need masks. If there ever was a pandemic, it's over. Life can return to normal. The government are lying. And this, which made me laugh. Okay, President-elect Tim JBO. And it's at Tim JBO. Oh dear, the climate change hoax season is upon us, featuring Sydney's Lord Mayor Clover Fort Denison is sinking. More, working with Gilligan from the BOM Sea Level Stick Adjustment Centre, working seamlessly with the Professor of Scientific Tidal Lagoon Observations. Watch this. And I'm serious, if you ever believe David Attenborough, I'm sorry. If you ever believed him, he's an actor, that's all it is. Okay, ready?
Hello, Professor. Skipper, look at the nice lobster that Gilligan got for us for dinner. The condemned will eat a hearty meal.
Diving on the reef, which was about 10 years ago now, and suddenly seeing that instead of this multitude of wonderful forms of life, that it was stark white. it had bleached white because of the rising temperatures and the increasing acidity of.
The condemned will eat a hearty... What do you mean? Look. It's just a piece of wood.
It's a measuring stick. I've been using it to mark the highest point the water's reached on the island. And I've been keeping a very careful check.
The stick is almost underwater.
Exactly. And since there haven't been any freak tides or storms, there's only one possible conclusion. Our island is sinking into the ocean.
No.
But also in Australia, which is extraordinary actually, because Australia is already facing having to deal with some of the most extreme manifestations of climate change.
What is the truth of the reef, Peter Ridd?
Well, the reef goes up and down. You have a bleaching event or a big cyclone, you can lose almost all the coral, but then it comes back within about 10 years. It's like a bushfire on land. It looks terrible for a time, but it regenerates, and it always has done over the millennia.
Well, that does it.
No, Professor, it looks like the captain's going down with his island.
Well, at least we have some real nice fat lobsters for dinner.
Gilligan, where did you get that stick?
That old stick? I use it to keep my lobster traps from floating away.
That old stick? Well, it just happens to be the measuring stick I've been using to mark how high the water's been coming up on the island.
I've been putting it out in deeper water to catch bigger lobsters.
Well, that explains everything. The island isn't sinking at all.
Gilligan, look at that mess. And it's all your fault.
Every time their predictions don't come true, they change the name again.
Definitely. Oh my goodness. That's what we're facing. We have to, like, are they serious? Why are all the rich suburbs on the beaches? And why do all the rich people buy on the beaches? If it's going to sink, come on. This is all trying to get wind farms for Warringah. Yep, okay, just have wind farms all over the beach and it's going to look ugly as... This is unbelievable. Anyone who believes in climate change now, come on. I mean, how many politicians and that build their houses right on the edge of the water? If it was sinking, they'd be under by now. And yes, our reef does bleach itself and come back. So, and Sydney's not going underwater. Nowhere in Australia is. These people are absolutely insane. Okay, from Sydney Powell. Answer, yes, but actually it was always a tsunami in favour of Trump. The evil media, big tech and left conspired to make the American people believe otherwise to cover up their massive fraud. And that was in response to Molly McCann at Mole McCann. This is an important update. Is the tide turning for Trump? Yes, it is. We're watching it, guys. Slowly coming around. And this from Lynn Wood. Surrender is not an option. At this point, we can't. If we surrender, we've got Agenda 21 to look forward to. So there's no way on God's given earth that we can ever surrender to this. From 3 days and 3 nights, I learnt from the lawsuits filed by Sydney Powell that the courts can instantly force the Senate to decertify election results if evidence of illegal voting exists, and it sure does. And then this one from Nathan Mack, Nathan M219532994, Independent and at Virginia. I'm sorry, this article is meant to make us feel sorry for a sex child trafficking satanic witch. If so, epic fail. Bring on her trial and the just that is coming for this despicable woman. Let's have a look from the Independent. Can we have a look from the Independent? Okay. Looks like I can read it. Okay. Okay. Ghislaine Maxwell is awakened by flashlight every 15 minutes to check she's still alive, her lawyer has said. Prison guards interrupt Maxwell's sleep to make sure she's still breathing, despite her having no history of mental health issues or suicide attempts, the lawyer said. Maxwell, 58, is being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York, where she's charged with facilitating Jeffrey Epstein's sexual abuse of girls. Maxwell, a former British socialite, has pleaded not guilty to all charges against her. Writing to Manhattan federal judge Alison Nathan on Tuesday, Maxwell's attorney, Bobby Sternheim, and her client faces tougher conditions than inmates convicted of murder or terrorism. What a load of rubbish. Despite non-stop in-cell camera surveillance, Miss Maxwell's sleep is disrupted every 15 minutes when she's awakened by flashlight to ascertain whether she is breathing, Miss Sternheim wrote in the letter. She added Maxwell is essentially kept in solitary confinement and subject to frequent and invasive searches. Well, you know jail's not free, you know. You're in jail for a reason and you shouldn't be comfortable. Requesting that Judge Nathan intervene to improve her client's conditions, Miss Sternheim did not reference Epstein's 2019 suicide. Epstein took his own life, which is questionable. No, he didn't. At New York City's Metropolitan Correctional Center on 10th of August while awaiting trial on sexual trafficking charges. 2 guards that were on duty the night Epstein died have been charged with falsifying records. And I'd say this is pretty much a falsified article. They are accused of failing to check on Epstein every 30 minutes and fabricating logs to give the appearance they'd done so. Well, then she can thank Epstein for her being interrupted every 15 minutes for committing suicide, even though he didn't, and he could still be alive, and he could be spilling the beans. Miss Sternheim's intervention came a day after prosecutors and Maxwell was last week placed in a coronavirus-related quarantine and banned from meeting her legal team. Oh, well, isn't that just fantastic? At least the quarantine isn't just for us plebs. Oh, well, it is, but she got caught up in it too. She was asked to self-isolate after a member of prison staff working in her section of the jail tested positive for the virus. Yep, the virus being corruption. In Tuesday's correspondence, Miss Sternheim also complained that Maxwell was not being given enough time to review documents related to her case to prepare the defence of her life. Prosecutors recently produced more than 1 million documents related to the case. They say 13 hours a day, more than any other prisoner, is enough time for Maxwell to review the papers. Miss Sternheim also requested a jail warden reported directly to the judge and Maxwell's legal team about her condition of detention, rather than relying on information from U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York. Judge Nathan ordered Miss Sternheim and prosecutors to meet and confer on the requests and ask for a status update within a week. Maxwell was arrested in July this year, almost exactly a year after Epstein's charges. She was found hiding at one of her properties in New Hampshire, and this has not told us anything we didn't know. Fake bloody news. Sorry, God. But seriously, this is the fakest news I have seen. And also, you know, jail is not supposed to be easy. So if she's getting a flashlight in her face every 15 minutes to wake her up to check if she's alive, she can just blame Epstein for that one. Okay, from Dr. Dave Jander at DOCDHJ. What an outstanding Thanksgiving, and it's only 2 a.m. thanks to Sydney Powell and her great team. Cracking on steroids. Legal mother of all bombs were dropped in Georgia and Michigan tonight. At Real Donald Trump was hammered by the deep state by an altered election scorecard which was taken out tonight. And this one from Enoch. Coming soon, election fraud news, Durham news, Epstein Maxwell news, Flynn news. And this one here from Awakened Outlaw. The New York Times, breaking news, the Supreme Court blocked New York's virus-imposed limits on religious services. Justice Amy Coney Barrett was the decisive vote in the 5-4 ruling. And Awakened Outlaw says, suck it, losers, because they cannot put limits on religious services if bottle shops are open, why are churches closed? And gyms, for that matter. And why are McDonald's open? They're one of the most unhealthiest things you can have, yet they're all open. Anyway, Oh dear, guys. 3 days and 3 nights. Consider this. Today was the first day in 4 years Trump finally went on the offensive. He only played 2 cards. Flynn, Sydney. Enjoy the show. And this one again. Time to drain the billabong. Is this signal for something unbelievable? And drain the billabong at Thompson P1950. And they're responding to Dumpy Tech at Dumpy Tech. Comms once again, the PM has the AU flag upside down. This ain't no mistake. Oh. Who's he crying for help from? Oh, it was 12 months ago. Okay. It's an act of desecration. Well, he did it not long ago with his mask on. He wore it upside down as well, if you remember in my previous video. Flying the American flag upside down is officially recognised symbol of distress. The flag should never be displayed with the Union down except as a signal of dire distress in instances of extreme danger to life or property. So if that was a year ago, who was he warning about the fires? Or is his life under threat? Someone just mentioned that. And from X22 report, Keystone is the start, Gettysburg was the turning point of the war. Watch PA. Watch out, guys. This from 3 days, 3 nights, more genius. And from J Holmes 55, J Holmes 551. For your information, Anons, the GSA letter forces Biden to disclose conflicts of interest with himself and his team to foreign nationals and other foreign agents. So basically, Trump has just cornered Biden using the laptop from hell. Checkmate. The Honourable Joseph Biden Jr., I remind you that Section 6 of the Act imposes reporting requirements on you as a condition for receiving services and funds from GSA. Sincerely, Emily W. Murphy, Administrator, U.S. General Services Administration. Presidential Transition Enhancement. Prohibit a transition team member with conflicts of interest similar to those applicable to the federal employees under Section 2635.402A and Section 4635.502A of Title V Code of Federal Regulations related to current or former employment, affiliations, clients or investments from working on particular matters involving specific parties that affect the interests of such member, and address how the covered eligible candidate will address his or her own conflicts of interest during a presidential term if the covered eligible candidate becomes the president-elect. So that's interesting. And this one will be the last one. This is Pauline Hanson. This is our red-headed patriot in Parliament. Have your say before it's too late. So far, 14,965 Australians have signed this petition to stop predatory foreign ownership. Next week it will be presented to the Senate. There is still time to let the government know Australia is not for sale. And I'll include this down below, this link, because it is a petition that you sign. Oh, one more, okay. From We Rise, at We Have Risen, a kraken has many tentacles. Yeah, and if you look at a kraken, at what the kraken was supposed to be, it was like an octopus. It had tentacles everywhere. Okay, guys, now hopefully, I've got to leave it there for today. I might have a day off tomorrow and be back on Sunday, which will be Saturday for you guys. Yeah, I'll see how I go, but I might have a day off tomorrow. Oh, my cat's running amok. Sorry, guys. She's just pulled my whole everything down. Like, she's knocking things over. She's just completely running amok. Okay. But happy Thanksgiving, guys, and have a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. And don't worry, we're all here together. We're all going through the same thing, as you can see, that it doesn't matter what country we are in, that this is happening everywhere. Okay, guys, have a good one, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye.